Good morning and welcome, Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Joe Jaquint, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group. Legal, lawful, constitutional tender, wealth insurance, and boy, are you gonna need it. Christmas is on the way, but have no fear. The Grinch was here. Jay Powell fleecing America yesterday. I've got so much to talk about. The Federal Reserve, Donald Trump, the draining of the swamp, the establishment at work, but most importantly, what is going to happen to your wealth, to your jobs, and it's incredible. I've never seen ignorance like this, maybe ever in my life. This may be worse than what Ben Bernanke tried to do before the last crash. 800-951-0592. That is our toll-free number. The website, you know the website, allamericangold.com. Make sure you get out there. Keep yourself in the know. And I'll say this, my mom got into town yesterday. That makes me happy. My son got into town last night. Makes me even happier. I'll say this. Terminal 4 at Sky Harbor, if you can avoid it, avoid it. Wow, what a mess. It almost took us an hour to pick up our son at the airport last night at Terminal 4. If you can somehow fly in to 3 or 2, you're better off. My mom, of course, in town, and which makes me happy, makes my wife happy, makes my kids happy. And I told you yesterday, I said, I'm putting her right to work. So this she gets, her bags aren't even going to hit the ground and start working. Instead, my mom, she's getting old. It was a long day for her, and she pulled an all-nighter because she had a really early flight. And my mom, all growing up, my mom was always a night owl. And everybody's different, right? Like for me, 9 o'clock, I want to go to bed. I mean, I'm up early. I'm up, 4:30 at the latest. My mom's she's the opposite. Especially, you know what? She raised 4 boys. So, she wasn't going to bed until the last one got home. And so one of the things growing up, me and my brothers always do, no matter what time you got home, your mom was going to be up. So she pulled an all-nighter. By the time she got to the house, she went right into her room and straight to bed. And I actually have not seen her. So hopefully after I get off of work today, I'll be able to see my mommy, and life will be good. But wow, we just got to talk about what happened yesterday. It's incredible. I'm going to do a show that I didn't think I'd ever do. A show that I didn't want to believe, even though I know it exists, and I know that they're out there. I never thought it would get to this level. Jay Powell yesterday said he didn't care about the data, didn't care about your wealth, doesn't care about your 401k. Doesn't care about your job. Worried about, really all they care. He doesn't want you to make any money. Because let's face it, we know they lie about inflation as it is already. But he just guaranteed, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of jobs he just cost the country yesterday. I know what he's going to do to your 401k. By the way, the worst investment. It's a travesty what they've done. But truly, I believe this with all of my heart. They want to get rid of Trump, and this is how they're going to do it. This is how they're going to do it. The economy done. It's over. I mean, it was incredible, the speech that he gave. Because remember yesterday, I told you they're going to raise rates. We kind of knew that. But I told you yesterday, it was all about the tone. The tone was defiant. The tone was you, if you really dig into what he said, was I don't believe what everybody else says. I don't believe that data. I believe only what I want to believe. And I have a hard time accepting that all of these people, and remember now, he doesn't act by himself. Right? There's 9 people that vote. He's only one of 9. So you're telling me they all feel this way? They are going to send us into a recession, possibly worse than the recession, the Great Recession we just allegedly got out of. There is going to be no cover. Well, gold. I mean, gold's at another 6-month high again today. You know, now what? Gold's up, almost $1,260 and rising. The Dow trying to hold on to 23. I don't know if it will. 23,140, down 180 more points, and it's early. Down 360 points yesterday. And a new low for the year. It's possible. I mean, you know what? I'll say this. I think it's likely that we could be talking about 21,000 before New Year's. I'm going to tell you what he said, what they did, what it means for your wealth, what it means for your livelihood, all of that and much more when we get back. 800-951-0592. That is our toll-free number. You know the number. You know what you have to do. I'm not going to scream and yell about it today. I'm not. I'm sick. I don't understand it. I mean, it's obvious, right? Look at housing. That's a sign. Auto sales, sign. Crude oil. By the way, back to the woodshed again on crude oil, down over 3% today. A sign. Look at the loan market. People are dumping loans like crazy. No one wants them. No one wants to hold them. The downgrades are coming. It's a sign. Look at the shipping indexes. Sign. And I could go on and on. Look at the chemicals part of the industry. Look at what manufacturing, whether you want to admit it or not. Boy, Philly Fed again today. Another big slowdown. And yet he came out yesterday and said, I don't care. I don't care. I mean, obviously we can point to the Dow, the S&P, another sign. And people are starting to pay attention now. They're looking at their 401ks and saying, what happened? I had people in my office yesterday. The guy on the phone late yesterday. Said, and he was upset. He was mad. Not at me. I mean, Wall Street's down, what, maybe 5% for the year, give or take, 4 or 5%. Says, I'm down over 20%. How does that work? And I explained to him. You know, the S&P 500, which a lot of people's 401ks, these are the companies that are in it. We're approaching 70% of the companies in the index are down 20% or more. And depending on which little box you check, if you even had that option, people are starting to realize, wait a minute, I'm down a lot more than what this market said. And the pain is only going to get worse. Jay Powell yesterday said, I don't care. Millions more people are going to lose their job. Pay raises, forget about it. Let's go on. Because here's what he said, right? Logic would have said, okay, you want to do this one? Okay. Right? Because let's face it, 6 weeks ago, you were all braggadocious. Right? 6 weeks ago, you were full of puffery about how great everything was. I get it. But a pause would have been more than acceptable. Hey, you know what? We're going back to data dependent, and we don't know what's going to happen, so we're going to wait and see. I mean, really, what harm could that have done? I mean, really, what harm could that have done? Because if they had wait and took a wait and see approach, they would have saw. Uh-oh. Things are a little worse than we thought. I guess our little formulas, they're not quite right. Is that what they said? He said, well, you know, we said that we were going to do 3 rate hikes, and now we're saying 2 rate hikes, 2 more rate hikes. Then they said, we're not pausing. In other words, I want to go again, and then I'll maybe think about it. Then he said, we're going to keep selling bonds. All through, we're not stopping. But Jay, no one's showing up to these debt auctions. China doesn't want any more. Japan doesn't want any more. Even the Saudis are like, we don't want any more. And really essentially said, I don't care about anybody but the uber rich. Because let's face it, you only got to be uber rich once. I'm going to protect you. Everybody else, you're out of luck. We're going to get Donald Trump out of office, and this is how we're going to do it. And I can't believe I'm saying it, but what else could it be? I mean, total ignorance is not an acceptable answer. And again, we can't even fire this guy. Right? We need Trump to go back to The Apprentice and give Jay Powell the "you're fired." And everybody else that voted for that rate increase and put their little dot plots about 2 more rate hikes needs to be fired as well. People's retirement is getting demolished again. And remember, 401k took a 20% hit. Margaret, you need more than 20% to recover the 20% you lost. But I don't know what we need, 25, 26, 28% to make up for it. The carnage is just getting started. See, because, again, Wall Street, and they always do, right? They get excited about how they think that it's going to be great and this and that, and they overdo it. And they've been fixing that lately, haven't they? Okay, yeah, well, 27,000, Dow's going to 30,000. No, it's not. Right? I told you. No, it's not. And that whole rally that started in March, that was all phony baloney because they wanted you to give them a big fat tax cut. And I don't even want to talk about how we didn't get what we thought we were going to get in that. That's not the point. This is sabotage. It makes no sense. I can't figure out what in the name Jay Powell's talking about. I mean, this is our way, you know what, continue everybody into serfdom. And let's just say you were starting to make some more money. Because I'm not convinced that people really were. I know the CEOs were. Well, let's just say you were. I don't know everything. You just guaranteed that's over. I don't know why. I don't understand. People can't afford stuff as it is now. We need to be making more money, not less. And now, let's face it, if you have any savings at all, right, it's in that 401k. And I've been railing on it now for a while. Because what they took from us and what they gave us, right, was bad. I mean, Big Bertie Madoff looked like a saint. What they did. Forget, no pension. We're not doing that. They got to pay you. They got to make sure you stay in good health or treat all your medical ailments after you've given us 20, 30, 40 years of service. We just want to throw you away like garbage. That's what we want to do. We want our stock price to go up. Dow 23,000 worth that, really? Oh, hey, listen. By the end of next week, it may be Dow 21,000, maybe Dow 20,000. And going lower. And then they set up these fees. And I know a lot of, they made a big deal about the fees after the crash. Right? After the crash, they found out that they're whacking you 2-3% every year, and pretended like they did something about it, but they didn't. Bankrate came out with the study, the best 401k in the world, which I don't even know who has it, hits you for 1.25% a year. The vast majority hits you for 2%. Pretty much that's the number. The average was 1.85%. So that really means what? A lot of it for more than 2%. And that's if you don't ask for anything. I don't even want to know what happens if you call them. You need to call up your 401k and say, hey, sell all my stuff today. I just listened to Double, and he said, hey, they're going to get back. Get me out. It doesn't work that way. Right? You want to get some of your own money. It's supposed to be your money. Well, again, that's another fallacy. You're tied to the government, right, because you owe the taxes. I wonder, is this tax cut that we got, is that the last tax cut ever? What's it going to do to the budget deficit? Because now I'm like, forget about 2%. We're not growing 2%. Not after what Jay Powell just said. I guarantee, they hike 2 more times. I always guarantee, not only will it be a recession, it's going to be, I don't even know how to describe it, how bad it will be. I don't understand what this man is doing other than the establishment want to get rid of Trump, and this is how they're going to do it, right? Because apparently, right, nobody cared. Nobody cared about these women and the payoffs and the lawyers. No one cares about Trump. We don't care. Care that he's mean and nasty. So what? It's about time someone got mean and nasty. But the cruel joke is what's happening and what's going to happen to all of us. I mean, if you're uber rich, you don't care. You know, I'll give you another example. You don't think I'm right? By the way, Dow's down almost 300 points now, already. So we'll be another, 20 points here away from 22,000 and change. Gold's up 7, by the way. And on Kidco, I think it's up a lot more, and I'll get to that in a minute. I just want to explain something to you. The Fed has raised rates between 2.25 to 2.5%. Okay, that's the new official stance. We were at 0. So we were 0 to 0.25. I think that was the official stance. So let's just cut the bull. The Fed's raised rates 2.25% since 2016. I'm going to tell you what you've gotten out of that when we return.
This is the Phyllis Schlafly Report, a daily broadcast from Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, a national volunteer organization founded by Phyllis Schlafly and continuing to uphold her legacy by honoring family values, opposing radical feminism, and representing a conservative perspective in our nation's capital. Now, the president of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, Ed Martin.
Have you ever wondered what's said behind the closed doors of Democrat campaign offices? Thanks to Project Veritas Action, Americans were finally able to hear for themselves what is said in such places. In a series of videos aimed at uncovering the truth behind some of 2018's most contentious races, Veritas revealed a shocking, or perhaps not so shocking, truth about what swing state Democrats really support. Let's see if you can sense the common theme. We don't say that out of these walls, is what a staffer for Tennessee Democrat Phil Bredesen told an undercover journalist on a secret video after revealing that Bredesen would have voted against Justice Kavanaugh's confirmation. A staffer for incumbent Democrat Claire McCaskill of Missouri said that Claire supports a total ban on semi-automatic rifles, but, quote, people just can't know that, end quote. A director for Senator Heidi Heitkamp's campaign said that though Heitkamp campaigns as a moderate, quote, when she gets elected, she's going to be super liberal, end quote. A staffer for gubernatorial candidate Andrew Gillum said it was not for the voters to know that Gillum will not keep his campaign promises. Even Jill Donnelly, wife of Indiana Senator Joe Donnelly, was caught on camera saying that her husband does support unions, but don't say that to people. In case you hadn't noticed, there are 2 things each of these politicians have in common. First of all, they are all liberal politicians trying to masquerade as moderates in order to win by any means necessary. Second of all, every one of these liberals failed in their races last month. This cannot be a coincidence. More than ever before, Americans are seeing through the lies of these so-called moderates. The mainstream media cannot cover for their mistakes anymore. The message of the 2018 election cycle should be very clear to everyone. If you try to lie to voters, you will get caught. We want real conservatives in our states and in Washington, D.C. The people are tired of lies, and they are willing to shake things up if it means holding someone to their word.
This has been the Phyllis Schlafly Report from Phyllis Schlafly Eagles. In 2016, the conservative movement lost one of our strongest leaders, but Mrs. Schlafly's work and her voice continue through this radio program, our work in Washington, and the influence you have in your own community. Be part of that legacy at phyllisschlafly.com. We encourage you to bookmark phyllisschlafly.com and join us again for the Phyllis Schlafly Report.
800-951-0592. You're going to call. Might as well be today before things get really out of hand. I told you the story about how when Eric and I high-fived when Ben Bernanke kind of gave the Jay Powell speech. I don't feel like high-fiving today. And trust me, it's going to be great for us. I can't believe it. And yet here it is. The deliberate act of sabotage. Guaranteeing that we're going to suffer again. For what reason, I don't know. And I sit there and I want to give you an example. So everybody, it's Christmas time. No one wants to have the Grinch come. When you get your next credit card statement, right, when the bill comes, all the minimum payments just went up today. All of them. Student loan payment going to go higher. Anybody that wants to buy a car today, just cost you more. Anybody that wants to get a house today, well, you're getting lucky, right? Everyone's so scared. Maybe it won't. The house may not will cost you more because of the tenure. All the other stuff does, and the house will eventually too. You know how that works. So they raised again, and now they've raised essentially 2.25%. For everybody that saves money. And you know how mad I've been at the Fed for those of us that did it right, and you have that money, you have a savings account, they fleeced you. Right? You should be able to buy a CD, get 7, 8, 9% interest. Remember, that was the bull crap they sold us when they gave us those 401ks. I want to give you an example. Since 2016, when the rate hike started, a 12-month CD, okay? So that's, your standard garden variety, started out at 0.2%. That was all you were getting, 0.2. And they must have shopped around to get that because most of them, it was nothing. Do you know where it sits today? Now, again, remember, I just told you, 2.25%. They've raised it, which would mean, at the worst, that should be yielding 2.45%. 0.6. That's what the banks have given you. They've raised it 2.2. Listen, that same bank, they raised all the minimum payments on your credit card. But here's what, they raised the minimum payment, but your balance doesn't go down, right? Let's just say you had a card that had $5,000 on it, and you didn't buy nothing. And you're one of those people, and a lot of people out there, you know what I'm talking about. You're a minimum payer. Right now, it's all I can do. And let's just say the minimum payment, I have no idea what it would be, but let's just say it was $150. All of a sudden, over the last several years, hey, I've got a $5,000 balance, but that $150, it's now $200 or $175. Why is it more? And my balance doesn't even go down. I got to pay more. My balance still doesn't change. That's them. That's the Fed. But for you savers, it doesn't work the same way. Isn't that a great game? The banks are like, nah, we ain't paying you anything. They don't want you to have anywhere to hide. Right? And this is what I told you today. Jay Powell last night, yesterday afternoon, essentially just guaranteed, as far as I'm concerned, guaranteed recession. Just guaranteed it. Refusing to look at any of the data that's out there. So prevalent. Guaranteeing, you know what, if you were, and I just saw a report that the average worker got 2 cents. See, because if you stripped out like the CEO stuff, because they made a bunch more money, that pay, that's what they're saying. I don't know. most of the people I talked to didn't get raises. I knew a couple of our customers of ours got a $2,000 bonus. And the couple, both of them that I knew, they'd been at their companies for well over 20 years. Pay raise, though? And now those pay raises, they're gone. Right? Companies are like, okay, well, wait a minute. You just raised, and now you said 2 more raises. Hey, we got to service all this debt. We borrowed a bunch of money back when you made it free. Yeah, we got to cut. Walgreens already today, we're going to cut $1 billion of expenses. $1 billion. How do you think they're going to cut that? What do you think that means? Hey, we're going to do more with less. I think that's what's in store for us. And I'll say this: there's better alternatives out there. If we run specials here all the time, and I know for a lot of people, hey, that's a lot. We have options, right? Obviously, buying the specials is a great way to go. Sign up for the metals plan. It's way better than a 401k. Think about this. It'd be one thing if they said, hey, you contributed $10,000 this year. Let's just say you're doing well and you're contributing, and most people can't contribute that much, but let's just say that. And they said, hey, we're going to charge 2%. Okay, that's fair. They got to make a few bucks. Okay. The next year you put another 10. They don't charge you 2% on the 10. They charge you 2% on the whole balance. But you already hit me for 2% for that first bunch. Oh, yeah, they hit you again and again and again and again and again. Can you imagine if you've been in there and listen, some people out there, there's not many anymore, but the ones that have been able to stick with it for 20 years and let's face it, and have the fortunate of not having to take any of the money out, which, boy, does that cost you? You've been getting hit for decades, every year on all of your money. Here's a great thing. When you buy gold from me, I don't call you every year and charge you 2% on stuff you already bought. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back right after the break. 800-951-0592. Quick look here at the market. Dow's down 310. We are now 10 points away from falling below 23,000. We could be down 1,000 today. It's very possible. Nothing from the Fed yesterday was encouraging at all. It was, again, I'm having a hard time with it because of the tone, the defiance, I don't know what the goal. The only thing I can think of is this is just we want to get rid of Trump and we're going to crash the economy to do it, and we don't care. I mean, if the Fed, I have no reason not to believe it because they've got the track record of doing it. They do what Jay Powell says they are going to do, what he said yesterday. I don't know. 50% decline in the stock market, maybe more. Millions of people losing jobs. As it sits today, the one hike he did, there's no pay raises next year. I don't know what he's thinking. I don't understand it. Bond buying, no, really? So we're finding out, is there a debt problem? Oh, I didn't know. I didn't see it. Gold. So gold yesterday. And we know yesterday, right, gold kind of broke through that 1252. And it closed yesterday right at that 1252.40, something like that. And then the Fed announcement came out. And again, remember, it was the talk that he gave after. That was up 300. Next thing you know, it was down 350, 360. I think it was 359, 360 points. Gold's in electronic trading, pretty easy to manipulate. Gold fell $11 to $12.41. And by the time I got home, it was back to $12.45. But so the Kitco price and the price, like I'm telling you right now, gold's up $12.59. If you go to our website where we have the Kitco price up there, gold's up $16, $17. That's the difference, because electronic trading was open, and Kitco goes they use their close from the electronic trade. So that's the difference in the price. Still the same price, right? The actual spot price is the same, just semantics of how it works. And when you start to lay out what's happening today and what happened yesterday, I think you got a pretty good indication of the flight to safety is started. The problem is the bond market's not safe. A lot of selling now, and I talked about how the downgrades in the bond markets were happening, and that all of this paper that was A-rated paper was getting downgraded to B-rated paper, and so on and so forth. And yesterday I saw another article talking about how hedge funds now are selling the bonds. In other words, they don't want to hold them, forcing all of these bonds back into the bank's hands. And that's a very dangerous place to be. These are those collateralized debts. Remember those? Right? Remember those? The cause of all of the housing market. We learned about tranches and collateralized debt obligations. These ones are called CLOs, collateralized loan obligations, and these were predominantly held by hedge funds who have been embarking upon record selling. They say that down to about 89 cents on the dollar. 89 cents on the dollar. And so you're starting to see that. And again, another sign. Another sign. And you got to remember now, where's all this money going to go? They created so much of it. It's going to end up in the gold market. That's where it's going to go. It's going to end up in the silver market. Another silver, same thing. So silver, another strong day today as well. Silver was 1470s. In the aftermarket, got down to like 1450. Now it's all the way back up here again. We've got cases of U.S. Silver Eagles at 91.25. 91.25 for cases of Silver Eagles. We got rolls of Silver Eagles for 365. Same price if you want 2019. So if you want to pre-order 19s, you can do it. The 19s won't be available until they'll hit my bullion bank second week of January. They won't be in your hands about the third week of January. If you don't care, which you shouldn't, an ounce of silver is an ounce of silver. We will be shipping again right after the New Year. So you can order today. Obviously, Christmas and New Year, we don't want to mess with that. Let UPS do their job, and then they'll ship right out, right after the first of the year at 800-951-0592. U.S. $20 St. Gaudens. We've been running a lot of libs. I've got some Saints. 1365. I'm going to take them down to 1340. But, you look at gold at 1260 and just the screaming opportunity for you as gold's getting ready to go positive for the year. We'll see where Wall Street ends up for the year, but an ugly turn. Dow's down 400 now, broke down to 22,000 and change. Where it stops, I don't know. I don't know what the heck Jay Powell was thinking. Final segment coming up. 800-951-0592. I don't remember the last time I saw a Fed rate hike and then them promising more rate hikes and the dollar being down. And dollar's down, I don't want to say huge, but down 31 basis points. It was pretty significant move here to the downside on the dollar. Kind of a good indication of everybody thinking what I've been saying, which is, what the heck is the Federal Reserve doing? And why? Why are they doing it? I mean, it's the only thing I can think of. They want Trump out, and this is how they're going to do it. Because, I mean, common sense would have just said, hey, we're going to wait for the data. We'll get back to you. Right? And hey, I could be wrong. I could be. And if I was wrong and Jay Powell was right, hey, okay, you could hike in March or June. But no. Not what he wants. The Dow is just gyrating a lot. So it's been down as much as 450. Right now it's down 300. And that's just all in the I mean, it was down 300, and then I turned around and it's down 450, and then now it's down 300, all in the last couple of minutes. It was down 360 yesterday. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised at anything today. The only thing up today is gold. That's it. Gold, silver is the only two things that are up today. Nothing else. Crude oil, off the lowest. Crude oil has been down as much as 5%. It's only down 4% right now at $46. Throw all of those loans now into chaos. I just don't understand it. I just don't know how this ends. We got $20 Saints today. I'm doing the best I can. None of this stuff's going to be on sale anymore. $13.40 on $20 St. Gaudens. Rolls of Silver Eagles at $365. Cases of Silver Eagles at $91.25. $9,125 at 800-951-0592. And don't forget about the metals program, right? So December, we got the end of the quarter here. We'll be shipping those out right after the first of the year. If you want to be involved, then I get it. You're like, hey, double. God, I wish I had $1,340. I wish I had $9,125. For as little as $100 a month, you can get started. You will get 4 physical deliveries a year. Here's the best part. Unlike the 401k, I don't call you every year and charge you for the stuff you already bought again. 800-951-0592. That is our toll-free number. And I know it stinks, right? It's Christmas time. My mom's here, right? My boy's back home. By the way, he's going to be in studio. Probably after the first of the year, he's going to come in studio and give you a piece of what the millennials are out there doing and thinking. And again, here you go again. So Dow's down almost 400 points again. So like I said, huge gyration, 22,000. It's been as low as 22.8. Right now it's at 22,009. Unfortunately, I think lower and much lower is still yet to come. Patriot Radio News Hour.